It's almost like the conservative media who attacked me, they thought they knew better than, a neutral arbitrator who heard all the evidence from different women. They thought they knew better than that.
Let's go over why Trevor Bauer is not pitching in MLB right now, or maybe ever. In June of 2021, accusations against Trevor Bauer were brought to the public, leading to his suspension for the rest of the season. Due to his controversial status in the game, which was probably well earned by him, I think MLB saw this as a great opportunity to blackmail him for a year and a half. What was controversial, you might say? Well, he hated Rob Manfred. He didn't get along with the Diamondbacks when he first got drafted due to differences in training regimen that they wanted to implement. Then in Cleveland, supposedly he didn't get along with the pitching coach due to the same thing, even though his fellow Cleveland pitchers mentioned that they all benefited from his knowledge of pitching, along with others saying that he knew more than what the pitching coach knew about pitching. During his stint in Cleveland, he also threw a ball over the center field fence before he was taken out of a game in the middle of the inning. And then he ended up getting traded to the Reds 3 days later. The reason he got traded from Cleveland, though, was not due to that incident, but because Bauer was going to be a free agent after the season. Cleveland tried to sign Bauer to a long-term deal before the season started, but Bauer said no. And we know Cleveland does not spend lots of money, so they decided to just try and get what they could from him for him at the trade deadline. Trevor Bauer would also pitch with one eye closed and tell the batters what pitch was coming with his glove. He would do the Conor McGregor strut after striking out hitters. He would put a sword away after striking hitters out. He used sticky stuff on purpose to try to get the league to crack down on it and make some rules to defend against it. He would go back and forth with fans on Twitter. Basically, he was doing all the things that we had never seen before in the game of baseball. Trevor Bauer was trying to make baseball fun again, but rubbed some people the wrong way on his way there. In 2022, after the police and district attorney's office looked over the claims by a woman in a thorough investigation, they decided not to pursue any charges against Bauer because of the proof brought to the case, which, by the way, was not all made public to the media, allowing the media to create their own narrative around it. Before we move on, we would really appreciate it if you guys could hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment down below letting us know your thoughts on Trevor Bauer and how you personally feel about him. This really helps us out with the YouTube algorithm, while you can also stay in touch with us and know when we drop our next videos. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We would really appreciate it. Thank you. Now, after the district attorney's office publicly stated that they will not be filing any charges against Bauer, MLB lifted the suspension, allowing him to play again. Keep in mind that he had signed a 3-year deal with the Dodgers back in 2020. Well, the Dodgers ended up releasing Bauer, which means he could sign with any team. Bauer decided to go to Japan, sign a contract there, which he did for 1 year for $4 million, and then try to come back to MLB next year. Bauer had previously mentioned that he had goals of always pitching in Japan when he was younger, and he wants to win the MLB Cy Young. He went on to have a 2.76 ERA in 130 innings with 130 Ks and a 10-4 record, while also being selected for the All-Star game and being named the MVP for the month of June over in Japan. He did start out rough, though, in Japan, but ended up steering the ship, as he did have a 2+ year layoff due to the investigation from pitching. Toward the end of his MPB season, Bauer did suffer a hip injury, trying to make a sliding play on a ground ball to his right that led to him missing the last 2 months of the season. He did get healthy and would have pitched in the playoffs, but his team unfortunately lost and he wasn't able to do so. Since then, Bauer has been back in the United States training and trying to get a job with an MLB team. Bauer has even gone as far as playing with a travel ball Japan team that played against the Dodgers minor league in spring training to try and get more eyes on him and prove that he still has it. He went 3 innings, allowed 0 runs, topped out at 99 miles an hour, had 4 Ks and 1 walk. Bauer has also signed a deal with the Diablo Rojos of the Mexican League. Bauer is doing so he's able to face the New York Yankees, who are traveling down to Mexico for a spring training game on Sunday, March 24th. A part of that deal, though, is that he will pitch 5 games for them in the regular season. That time frame starts April 11th and ends May 8th. Bauer's doing this so he is able to stay in game shape for when an MLB team wants his services, if that chance ever comes. Bauer has also gone on several podcasts to have discussions about him wanting to pitch again in Major League Baseball, even going as far as saying that he will play for the league minimum for this year, and he would just include incentives into the contract so he gets paid based on how he performs during the season. While all of this is going on, though, one of his accusers/victims, Lindsey Hill, has been on Twitter trying to expose Bauer and putting out pictures of things she claims Bauer did to her out of consent. Let's take a look at this video of Lindsey Hill from Twitter.
All right, we're not going to get into a 4-minute materially false little YouTube video that looked like it was edited with the skills of a fifth grader. We're going to break down why no MLB team is signing Trevor Bauer. Could you imagine that? No one is signing him. So it's almost like the conservative media who attacked me, they thought they knew better than, a neutral arbitrator who heard all the evidence from different women. They thought they knew better than that. They thought they knew better than the top lawyers that were brought in, like Maura Penza, who brought down Keith Raniere and Nixium. And they thought they knew better than the investigators who went through Trevor's life for 10 months with multiple women. Just huge shout out to them first. So let's just break it down. We don't have a lot of time. 4 minutes is too long. Number one, why he's not signed. Multiple accusers, some of which who have sex tapes that he filmed himself with his GoPro and sent to the women that were brought to MLB and played. And I have seen some of them with my own eyes, and there's not consensual activity going on, first of all, and it is one of the most dark things you could ever imagine. Second of all, texts, like a text that says, I want to, you completely unconscious. There is hundreds and hundreds of texts like that. Multiple women. Another woman testified against him in the MLB arbitration, and we would FaceTime back and forth after all of it. I heard every detail. I knew exactly what happened in arbitration. They made her watch those videos as her lawyer Bauer's lawyers taunted her about it. What else? They brought in bruising experts to go through the exact timeline of that Snapchat video y'all love. Imagine that. I have metadata verified pictures 20 minutes after that video was taken, starting to develop them bruising. Okay, impossible to do it to myself. That's ridiculous. So we went through the bruising, we went through the phone call in which I say over and over, I didn't want to
Bauer
be punched.
does not claim that he didn't do some of the things that happened, but he does say that they were with consent and that he definitely shouldn't have done them even with consent. I don't know who or what to believe, but Bauer did not have any charges filed against him from the district attorney's office. Two civil cases had been filed and no charges were brought up. Now, here is the information where some of you may not know. There is a third case, and I believe Lindsey Hill is the one. This is the case that Lindsey Hill just mentioned, that is still pending, or at least was still pending as of 2 months ago, that Trevor Bauer also mentioned in his interview with WFAN. If that is the case, and that case is still open, I think that is the reason why Trevor doesn't have a team at the moment. Until that case is closed and he is cleared, I don't see any team touching Bauer. Teams don't want to deal with players with any open cases when you have tons of money invested into the players. And the questions that would bring to a clubhouse, I think it would be too much and too risky for a team to take that on while a case is open. If Trevor is cleared of any non-consensual abuse and our cases are closed, that's when I think he comes back to MLB. Thank you for tuning in. If you liked the video, please leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below if you think that Trevor Bauer will ever pitch on a major league field again. See you on the next one.